fakes. Last real talk, good vibes, no stress. You're rocking with the best. Welcome to the set. Straight up the group chat, yeah, we keep it real. Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Faith, love, career, life's a whole mood. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Tap in, turn up, let's get it started. Michaela, Nicole, Jaheim, yeah, we locked in. Straight out the group chat, coming through your speakers. Y'all ready? Let's go. Straight out the group chat, yeah, we keep it real. Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Faith, love, career, life's a whole mood. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Straight out the group chat, yeah, we keep it real. Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Faith, love, career, life's a whole mood. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Tap in, turn up, let's get started. Michaela, Nicole, Jaheim, yeah, we locked in. Straight out the group chat, coming through your speakers. Y'all ready? Let's go. Straight out the group chat, yeah, we keep it real. Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Faith, love, career, life's a whole mood. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Late night combos turn to viral debates. Keep it 100, no cap, no fakes. Last real talk, good vibes, no stress. You're rocking with the best. Welcome to the set. Straight out the group chat, yeah, we keep it real. Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Faith, love, career, life's a whole mood. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Tap in, turn up, let's get it started. Michaela, Nicole, Jaheim, yeah, we locked in. Straight out the group chat, coming through your speakers. Y'all ready? Let's go. Straight out the group chat, yeah, we keep it real. Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Faith, love, career, life's a whole mood. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Straight out the group chat, yeah, we keep it real. Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Faith, love, career, life's a whole mood. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Tap in, turn up, let's get it started. Michaela, Nicole, Jaheim, yeah, we locked in. Straight out the group chat, coming through your speakers. Y'all ready? Let's go. Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Straight out the group chat, yeah, we keep it real. Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Faith, love, career, life's a whole mood. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Late night combos turn to viral debates. Keep it 100, no cap, no fakes. Last real talk, good vibes, no stress. You're rocking with the best. Welcome to the set. Straight out the group chat, yeah, we keep it real. Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Faith, love, career, life's a whole mood. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Tap in, turn up, let's get it started. Michaela, Nicole, Jaheim, yeah, we locked in. Straight out the group chat, coming through your speakers. Y'all ready? Let's go. Straight out the group chat, yeah, we keep it real. Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Faith, love, career, life's a whole mood. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Straight out the group chat, yeah, we keep it real. Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Faith, love, career, life's a whole mood. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Tap in, turn up, let's get it started. Michaela, Nicole, Jaheim, yeah, we locked in. Straight out the group chat, coming through your speakers. Y'all ready? Let's go.
And now let the weak song.
Lord, I was trying to bring you up when you've been eating that cereal. Couldn't get it
For
fast
what
enough.
the Lord has
Do, 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 do,
done,
do. Wait,
Oh my God.
give thanks.
Y'all, I need a
And now let
this is
the weak say, I am strong. Let
mm-hmm,
the poor say, I am rich.
mm-hmm.
What the Lord has done. Nicole, for us. What?
Nikki is over you, okay? That's what's going
Give
on.
thanks. Yeah.
Are you
Oh,
crazy?
you
All
live?
right, y'all. We just
Oh,
got
we
a lot
live.
going on. Um, we're on TikTok, but I can't find my other phone, so I can't share it to TikTok. But we're on TikTok, so
What do
that's
you
all that
mean you
matters.
can't share it?
Like, I can't share it to the straight out the group chat story.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we're on TikTok, so it's fine.
TikTok, what's up, TikTok?
Hey y'all, happy
I don't
Sunday.
know.
Shoot. Wow.
This tie how the way our expressions look, this ties in exactly what we're gonna be talking about tonight.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. Nikki, what's wrong?
Mm, that's me. Go ahead.
Oh,
oh. I was like, wait a minute now.
good evening, y'all.
Y'all,
All
I'm
right.
tired. I'm
Mm-hmm.
tired. I'm tired.
She too
Mm-hmm.
busy doing boots on the ground, and
Hey, and if you eating on here, don't say we can't clip it now. If you gonna eat on camera, we gonna
I
clip
don't
it.
mind. She the one who mind.
Okay.
She
Okay.
want hey,
Hers
y'all.
is very ghetto. It's not very tasteful.
Mm.
Y'all, she the one who would talk about she want to remove our intro video because she tired of seeing her eating that rib. Hey, but
I
my
mean,
Bible,
we could have
hey,
literally
look,
filmed.
but my
We could have
Bible said the
literally.
woman come from the rib. Uh-oh.
We could have filmed a whole new introduction yesterday, but y'all was too busy wanting to dance.
That
Nikki,
would have been a
that would
bad
have been the
idea.
introduction. That's dancing. You want to sit in the car.
Yeah.
That's a very sensitive spot to me right now. Let's not do that
Oh,
on
okay.
this
Yeah, okay,
platform.
okay. All
Hey,
right.
hey, Michaela, I'm leaving.
Can we no,
All
y'all.
right,
And
let's
let
go.
me no. Since we go in there, let me go there and then we gonna get into what we gotta talk about tonight. So yesterday, y'all, we went to an all white event back home in Somerville, right? And so we had fun. It was a really good time. We were dancing X, Y, and Z. Um, they were late getting there. Okay. They were later than the time that we were supposed to said we were meeting. That's the first thing. That's number one. All right. They got there, had a good time, like I was saying. And then y'all, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock rolls around. Everybody's getting ready to leave. Y'all, I'm tired. I didn't eat. I was up since 7:30 yesterday morning. So I was ready to go. So I asked, I'm like, okay, guys, are we going to eat after this? And if so, what time are we going to leave? So every kiss begins with K says that we're leaving at 8:30.
You said 8:30,
Mm, 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 mm,
and
mm,
we
mm,
and
mm,
we
mm,
agreed. We
mm, mm.
co-signed. We was like,
No, no, no,
okay.
no, no, no,
We was
no.
like,
I think
okay.
I
You
said
said
earlier. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie to
somebody. I know. I ain't say it.
somebody said 8:30, and I said, okay, well, I can wait till 8:30. So y'all, I'm looking at my clock. 8:15 comes by, 8:20, 8:25. So I'm like, are we leaving? Nothing. Michaela decides she's getting up there to start strolling. So I said, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go to my car and I'm gonna sit in my car for another 15 to 20 minutes. That'll give them enough time to like finish dancing and come on. 8:45 comes. Yo, I am hungry. My head is hurting. So I text them. I'm like, hey, it's past 8:30. Like, when are we leaving? Nothing. So you know what I did? I was leaving. Like I was hungry, I was tired, and I wasn't waiting around for them. No more.
But she still met us at Carolina Ale House to eat her. What is it? The hot honey. Eat her hot honey.
Let's get on to this conversation tonight, please.
right.
See.
We get canceled for name dropping these places that we don't
Oh
sponsor.
God. Okay, y'all. Let's get into our group chat receipts. These group chat receipts are crazy this week. Hold on. Ooh.
That's me.
Ooh. And you got the most expensive equipment and you sounding like that? Jesus. Okay. Uh-oh.
What is the receipts for this week?
Oh, you was too busy. I can't remember what you was doing, but all right, y'all. This is our
Yeah, though.
this is our text receipt.
Wow.
I think Jaheim sent this. He said, "Why I thought he died."
Who died?
We're not
Nobody
name
died.
dropping nothing.
Yeah,
Who
but
is
it
he
was,
talking?
once again, it was one of those flyers where like it looks like death,
Mm.
and I just sent that, and I was like, God, why? I thought he was dead. Like, you know what I mean? Because when you're on Facebook or whatever social media, you start scrolling fast, and then it's like beloved. You know what I mean? Like, God, I need to stop. Don't ever post no stuff like that where I look dead. 'Cause I'm
Hello.
dead alive.
Some of y'all graphic designers need to be fired. But
No,
I'm gonna leave
serious.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Because why you having a concert and then the person got angel wings behind them? But okay.
My God. Okay. this, is, this video get me every time. This is our video group chat receipt.
What's the video?
I don't remember the video. Oh,
Whoa, down through the years, I served the Lord. We'll save that for the next time. As long as I've been up here, I don't think I want you all to finish wearing me out. You're like the guy ain't singing nothing. You're all like the guy ain't singing nothing. And the rest of y'all saying he ain't singing nothing, so you ain't helping. But do y'all want me to sing a little bit of that? Don't trick me. Do y'all want me to sing a little bit of that? I want to hear the bass on that drum, because you beat like your leg broke.
You beating like your leg broke.
Lord Jesus.
That thing take me out every time.
Y'all, that is good to me.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
Malik said Dixon don't play about his music. And
okay,
No, he
and
don't. He
And
don't.
don't.
you beating like your leg broke.
My
He said, I don't think y'all wear me out. My God, today.
Oh god.
Oh God. All right, and these are our viewer
Oh,
spotlight.
Oh.
Oh.
Hey, move us out of the way, Michaela, so we can see the
Oh,
name.
hold on. Oh shoot. Hold on.
Oh, snap.
Static
snap.
Shock.
Static.
Let me just move you. You and
I know he's smiling at the phone, twisting in that one dreadlock of his that
Are
he
you?
twists on. I just know him.
Thank you, Static and Kayla, for engaging last week. We really appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for supporting the podcast. All right. I'm sorry, I got to bring you back up.
Oh, gosh.
I had to take you down using the way. All right.
Ugh. Was I in the way? It was.
He was.
Let me show.
Oh,
Maybe take your time. What's the
The
rush?
Ratch.
do y'all want to play the commercial at the end that
Yeah.
Ashton asked about? Yeah, we'll play the commercial.
Or they're in the middle, one of the two.
Or in the middle.
Okay. All right. So now that we've got that out the way,
Like and share and like. We need. We only
Mhm.
got. I don't like the numbers. Let's get the numbers.
Granted, y'all, we was kind of slack on promotion this week. We ain't shared a flyer till about 2
Isn't
hours
that your
before.
department? I just wanted to see your reaction.
Anywho, all right, y'all. Let's get in. Anybody have any introductions? Any introductions?
No, but I do want to say congratulations to all those who are graduating this week and next week. All those high school seniors on college decision day who decided to either go into the military, go to any type of form of college. We want to salute you here on Straight Out of the Group Chat podcast for going to the next level and for succeeding this journey. We just want to let's just give the people a round of applause. If you know somebody, just we thank y'all for you. But no, that's my introduction.
Oh yes.
Oh, and happy
Nikki?
Teacher Appreciation Week.
Oh yeah.
I don't have any introductions, I don't think.
Never.
Sorry, I'm trying to send messages to TikTok too. Hey TikTok, we see y'all.
Hey, TikTok. You know, Rick, our cousin Ricky on.
He ain't on there yet. He'll be jumping on soon. All right, y'all. So let's get into the topic for today. Um, hold
That's all
on.
right. We about to hire a behind the scenes manager. We're going
Shoot.
to now.
Hold on. All right, y'all. So today's topic is therapy versus prayer. Do we need both? So we have a opening summary for you all. So in today's episode, we're diving into a topic that hits close to home for so many of us, especially in Black and faith-based communities. For years, we've heard phrases like just pray about it or give it to God. But we're also seeing a major rise in conversations surrounding therapy, mental health, and doing the inner work. So we're asking the real question: is prayer enough? Is therapy a lack of faith, or do we actually need both to be whole? Let's talk about it. So let's talk about it. Do you feel like you just need therapy? Do you just need prayer, or do you feel like you need both?
I want to tackle this first.
Well, I think the ones who have therapists should tackle this first because I don't have a therapist. So, Jaheim, I know you do.
All right. Yeah, I think in my season where, anybody who know me, I love the Lord, but I think in some of my darkest seasons of my life, it was I think the guide of the Holy Spirit to send me to somebody that was objective. That wasn't, we go to our parents, we talk to whoever our faith leader, they know us. And I went to somebody who didn't know a lick about Jaheim President, who didn't know a lick about how great he was, how his history, none of that stuff. And I think that kind of saved me. And I'll tell my journey, and my testimony. These two know, and most people know. But it was in that dark moment, and even kind of after I got out of that dark moment, I still was in denial. I was like, I remember talking to my granny. I was just like, I don't want people to think I'm crazy.
Mm.
And so I pushed. It wasn't, and I thank the College of Charleston for this. It wasn't until the College of Charleston told me, "Hey, if you don't see a therapist, you can't come back on our campus. Like you can't, you can't go to class." And so what I did, I started off just, going just to go, but then I opened up my heart and my soul and my spirit, to actually be healed in a different type of way. So I would say, therapist, it works hand in hand, but if you need to go see a therapist, you need to go see it for real. Okay. I feel like you got something on your lips.
Well, no, I was just going to touch on the like bringing the first point. Why has therapy historically been seen as a taboo or unnecessary in Black or Christian communities?
Yeah, go ahead.
That was the question. Because I know you talk. Go ahead.
I think because it's just, we look at the older saints, and we looked at, if we go back in history, they always had to push through and press their way. And so, and we talked to our grandparents and we talked to our great grandparents, they have some hidden traumas that they haven't dealt with because they would all, talk to the preacher, pray about it, talk to your mama, your auntie, we gonna throw the oil on you. And we also see it when people get sick. Back in the day, they had remedies and those remedies work. But when somebody get cancer, the first thing they do, I know somebody, pray, or whatever type of sickness, diabetes, pray. When in fact, you may need to pray, but you also may need to go to your doctor. Because I believe God and I believe miracles, but there's some things that, oh, there it is. It's always enough. I would never
finish your thought though. Finish your thought.
Oh, I would always say, there are some people who doesn't have that strong faith. And so I think the partnership, there's a partnership that goes with medical and faith, I believe.
Okay. Kara, is it Kara McKaylee? You know this one?
I
Was she in the
think
cookout
so.
yesterday?
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
She had to cook out?
No.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Kara said prayer is always enough. I would never prioritize therapy or commentary from others over prayer. The answer is prayer. It's important to recognize when you need the support from others and their utilization of their gift to help you walk on
Mhm.
the path that God has destined for you. God has placed people around you and for you to be able to access. There is power in presence. You can't do it alone.
And I would agree because prayer is the first step. I would agree. Like you have to pray before you do anything. Pray that God leads you to the right doctors. Pray that God leads you to the right people, right systems, right places. I would agree. I don't want to
That,
dominate. I
I
don't want to dominate the
agree.
conversation. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I agree too to a certain extent. I do agree, prayer is powerful. Prayer will stand alone. Prayer is powerful enough by itself, but I feel like God will always send you that ram in the bush. So, yes, you can pray
Mm,
about it, but he's also if he's, the God that you really serve for, he's going to send you that extra help, which may be a therapist and maybe that personal friend, that confidant. So, prayer is enough, but sometimes it's okay to pair it with something else.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to go back for a second when you were talking about
Oh, we should have had Carrington
therapy.
on mental
We
health.
should we should have
God,
had
Carrington,
Carrington.
God, we just talked about that. Sorry, Carrington.
We
Literally,
need
this
to
is
put
stuff
you in the box for real.
I know. Carrington,
But
if you ain't busy, inbox
Carrington,
Michaela.
yeah, I'm about to say inbox me if you want to get in here. But I wanted to go back to when you were talking about historically, as far as like therapy and the black community and stuff like that. I feel like it also ties in culturally as well because I've heard this a lot. They say therapy is for white people. I'm just saying I've heard that a lot. I've had a family member.
Mm.
I've had a family. This is a true story. I've had a family member who is still to this day having issues with her father. And it got to the point where she told him, she was like, I want us to sit down and talk this out, hash this out with a therapist. And her daddy told her, that's you living in that white people world. Therapy is for white people. We are not doing that.
And
Go ahead.
I think some of that the mindset of it comes from we don't want people in our business.
Mhm.
And
What
what
stays what stays in the house, what's said and
Mhm.
what's going on in the house stays in the
I
house.
was
And I
just getting
think
ready to
Mhm.
because of
say
the mindset that we have, that's kind of where it triggers to where, okay, I don't want an outsider looking into my life trying to tell me
Yep.
either what to do, how to cope with it. Because again, in our heads, we're like, you never walked a day in my shoes. So how are you going to tell me something about me? And so as a culture, I think that's at least piece,
Mhm.
a small part of why I think having a therapist is negatively looked and frowned upon.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I think that builds so much trauma. You remember last episode we talked about what hurts more, family, da da da. And
Mhm.
that's why I choose family because there are some of our families who and some family members, and especially in our culture, who just don't want to embrace that. They don't want to lose their power. We always talk about
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
Nobody wants to give up power, and I think traditionally when they think you're going to therapist, you're giving up power and you're
Mhm.
overtaking their power, and nobody wants to feel vulnerable, and that's what therapy, for me, that's what therapy did. It made me look into the inner parts
Mhm.
of who I was, and not what I was trying to mask to be.
Right. And then sometimes that's an uncomfortable feeling to have to do, to basically soul search ourselves, to
Mhm.
Jesus, say
find
that
the
again.
issue.
Say that
I
again.
mean, it's an uncomfortable place, it's an uncomfortable feeling to have to actually take the time and soul search. Okay, so like what is wrong with me? And not even necessarily all the time of what's wrong with you, but why am I the way that I am?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think, you know, when we think about it, especially it I can kind of see the opposite way where we going to this therapist and they just gonna put the blame on me. Um, and I think that's what it is. They don't want, like you said, they don't want to introduce themselves to who that they are the reason. Because I listen, there are stuff in our lives and family or friends where it would be where nobody wants to take ownership. Nobody want to take ownership of what they've done to you. Like you know what I mean? Like if I hurt you, if I did something to you, Nicole,
Mhm.
I the Holy Spirit taught me. I don't want to take even when we had our falling out. You know what I mean? I at first I didn't want to take ownership of the part that I played.
Mm,
And I think that's what is so wrong. People don't want to go there because we don't want us for one. We don't want them to tell us to leave
exactly.
the situation we're in. And that is true. That is true. That's why
Hmm.
I need to go. I go to a black therapist. No offense to whatever. I go to a black therapist.
Mhm. If
I
there
say
were
that white
black
therapists
therapists
can't
back
do
in
it.
the 60s and people may think differently today. That's cousin Kim.
Hmm.
Oh,
No
hey,
way
nice to
black
meet you again,
people
Kim.
are going to confide in a white person back then. That's true.
That's true. And
Um,
that's true. And that ties into what Jaheim said about being vulnerable because I feel like historically black people, just as a collective, we've always had to be strong. So now you're telling me I have to open myself and break down to tell people how I feel. That's a no. I
yeah,
won't
And,
do that.
yeah.
and they would run to religion. So the
Mm,
pastor would be the therapist.
mm,
But then you would get mad at the pastor because now the pastor is not only giving you life advice, now you're mad that, oh, why this pastor in my business and in our marital business and our family business? Why did now you start to feel like the pastor were talking about you inside his sermon, and just so now you
Hmm.
leave it and talk about the ministry. So back then they didn't go to therapists, but they went to the pastor. But then if all else failed, they could blame the pastor and the religion, kind of shifting the blame from themselves again.
So since you brought that point, we're talking about religious things. Do you think that the church has failed to address mental health issues?
Yes. I think
definitely.
yes until to COVID. I mean, in the 7th Episcopal District, when we were all young people and leading it, I think that's really how we started to connect stronger, Nicole. Because I remember telling Miss Joyce when I was president, like, I want to start talking mental health because I know how COVID was affecting me as a student. So as young people, I think they don't want to address it because it makes them feel like they're a failure, like religion kind of
Mm,
failed us.
Truth be told, since we're being honest tonight, I
Mhm.
feel like,
have it.
and this again, this is just a piece of it, but I feel like the reason why sometimes the church doesn't address it is because we have some leaders who are dealing with it.
Right.
Mm,
That's
Oh, I totally
pastors, that's people, in clergy, like, they're struggling with it,
understood.
and you can't address something if you don't know what to do with it
mm.
or how to deal with it.
And that causes
Somebody
issues.
correct and it does, and it causes issues because now you have young people who, constantly hear, "Oh, just pray about it, just pray about it, just pray about it," but they're not s there's no results,
Mm,
and if we wanna take it a step further, you have some young people who struggle with these problems, and they don't know how to pray.
mm,
Right.
So what happens then? So it's just a long, long, long train of issues and problems, and as church Christian, going people, how do we address that?
I think it comes back to what we say. You gotta be self-aware. I
Mhm,
mean, you leader or not, you have to be self-aware of what you need in that moment. And
mhm,
aren't people why
that's true.
I said that earlier because they don't know you. So it's
Mhm,
like I don't fear that you're gonna go back and tell my business. Like my
mhm,
therapist, and if they do, you can sue them. You know what I mean? It's both ways, so you win both ways. I think that was so better because especially in Charleston, most people know my family, whatever, and so I knew that when I went into those four walls, it was kind of like I don't know, y'all. Close the door, and I could just be like, okay, so what's really going on? Without being preacher, Reverend President, without being Mr. President, without being this and that, I could just be Jaheim. And I
mhm.
think
mm,
that's why people go to strangers because they don't need all that. They don't need that. You won't be able to release fully until you meet somebody that you don't know. And keep it professionally. I don't follow my
mhm,
therapist on Facebook. I don't do none of that. I saw my therapist one time in the gym. I said, "Hey," and I kept it moving. You know what I mean? Because I don't want it to. I don't want it to be familiar and that's something like we buddies. No, you're my therapist. You went to school for this. okay, now I can tell you because once it start feeling familiar, then I'm like, oh, they telling this one, they telling that one. So that's what's good.
Mhm.
Mm.
Who you looking at? Oh,
Cousin Kim said, "Aren't people who go to therapists more comfortable talking to a stranger?" I think that
we just
why
said that.
telling
Yeah, we
every
just did that
oh,
one.
we just did this one? Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
get
sorry.
out of La La Land.
Sorry.
But
Sorry.
okay, I want to throw this out. When
Mm.
when do how do we respond from the people who they're I don't know how to word this.
So
Go ahead.
sorry, real quick, because I want to bring in TikTok as well, because we have Ray Ray watching on TikTok. So
Mhm.
I asked them, can you have Jesus and a therapist? She said, yes, you can have both. And then she said, also, therapists might help you see things differently than a family member, best friend, or a pastor, which is very true.
It is. I mean, it's always good to have, you know, somebody who's not tied or connected
Mhm.
to you.
And unbiased,
So, not
definitely.
thank you. I was drawing a blank.
Mhm.
Not biased. Yeah.
Because I know if I go tell my mama, like, struggles I've been having lately,
Mhm.
this is literally what she's gonna say. Press, Ja, pray. We gonna do this. God is gonna give you a spirit. My granny, I love her to death. If I tell her that she gonna listen to me, you better. You-
That's what I see.
yeah, right. Hey, okay, what you gonna do? You know what I mean? And I get it because that's what they had to do. But in the time, all the older folks that are listening, in the time, sometimes young people don't want to hear that. I know sometimes I don't want to hear
So the
that.
question still stands that I asked like 10 minutes ago. What do you do when you have a lost generation? I'm gonna call it lost because they didn't deal with mental health,
Mm.
and
So you
if they
talking about
dealt with it. Mhm.
what
And
some of
that's a
them
question for y'all too now on Facebook
oh,
and TikTok and Instagram,
some of
wherever
them
we at.
it's hard to say. Sometimes the generation is gonna have to be lost because some of them are hard headed. Some of them
That's
don't even like
true.
going to the doctor. Am I right, Michaela? Am I right?
That's
But some of them
true.
people like going to the doctors, this, that. So you can feel like your cousin that I don't know the situation, but she could beat herself in the head. He already say he ain't going. Now,
Who
but
cousin?
here it is. But then that comes.
Basic.
That's when the prayer comes, and you ask God, and she continued to pray about it. But sometimes you got to realize that's not they're in their DNA.
That's what it is. You like just like how you said they just gonna have to remain the lost generation. So when her daddy said that, she didn't, sit in that. What she did, she started going to therapy for herself. So she, whether you going with me, I'm going. And that was her mentality. That's what you gotta do.
But
You
then
can't
they'll
let
start hating on you when you walk in your true healed self.
mm.
Mhm.
They will.
So,
Go ahead. I need some business right now.
that's true. So I want to talk about a little bit about those generational cycles since we're talking about Michaela's cousin, for example, who, whose
Like,
dad
we ain't talking about her cousin now. With no
Oh,
I'm
nasty.
about to
I
say
thought
any of my cousins, so y'all go ahead. I just said a family member.
All
oh,
right, we
I
ain't
I don't
talking
know why I
nobody
just
family
assumed it
member.
was your cousin. My bad. But anyways,
No, Hakeem said that. Go ahead.
oh, okay, somebody said it. But we're talking a little
Sorry.
bit about breaking generational cycles,
Mhm.
dealing with the particular family member that Michaela was talking about who wanted to seek um therapy, counseling, and the father was just like, nah. So, what mental or emotional habits did we inherit from family, do y'all think, when it comes down to um mental health
Avoid
and struggles?
avoidance.
Avoidance?
Mm.
So you'll get into this. You you'll get into this, whatever.
Mhm.
And you expect them to you avoid the situation for months, right? I mean weeks, and you expect things to pick up. God, I feel you. God, I feel you. You expect things to pick up like before the altercation or whatever happened. And so you avoid the true healing part. Have you
Mm.
I know for my family and they can consider me, that's what they do. They avoid and then they expect to pick back up. And that's not true without actually dealing with the problems. They just expect you to forget what transpired and the time that transpired and pick back up to where we were all handy dandy fun.
And
That's
why is
what-
that?
Because they don't want to. Nobody wants to take. And I'm not just talking about my family, but anyway, nobody wants to take that responsibility of what they did wrong.
Mm.
Or you may seem too sensitive. You may seem too. God, I feel your Holy Ghost. You may seem too this, to that. And so that avoidance, okay, if I don't talk to you, if we go a long time without talking to each other, then that you should have been done healed by that time. You should have been done got over it by that time. That's not how it works.
Yeah, you can't heal an open wound.
Mm.
Say that. Say that.
Just leaves time for it to get infected. Somebody say infected.
Infected.
Okay, what else? So we got avoidance. What else? God, this is getting good.
Pride.
Woo!
Pride.
And that's my problem. That's my
Mm.
problem. That is my
Okay,
problem.
hey, dive deep into that, Michaela. Pride, pride, that's a big word. Go ahead, pride.
No, I'm trying to put this on there. Pride. I mean, people that it ties back to the other situation. People too prideful. They ain't got. I'm trying to figure out how to say. I don't want to tell nobody business on here.
I know that's
Jesus.
right.
That's why I try. I think somebody else need to expound. I don't want to tell
Okay,
nobody
I would say
business on here.
pride is thinking that they don't stink. Like I would feel like that. I feel like, yeah, I didn't curse, but when people are prideful, in certain situations they feel like they don't stink, and so they feel like they did no wrong. They feel like they'll try to pull on past things like, oh, we remember when I helped you. You remember when I did this. You remember when I did that. You remember I did that. And so they will never accept their wrongdoings. And so prideful people will be like a bull in a china shop. While you trying to repair, they're still crashing through the china shop. You trying to repair the cups. You trying to repair the cups, and then they still like going. They still woo. Like they didn't do nothing wrong, and they're happy. Here it is. Most private people are happy about some of the destruction that they cause.
Now, as a prideful person,
There's different levels.
sometimes it is different levels to that, and also I would have to agree to disagree because personally,
Okay,
my
say
pride,
personally.
my pride comes from not wanting.
Seem weak.
No,
Let's be honest. Let's be
well,
honest.
for me,
Yeah.
not wanting
Yes,
to
because you're a strong Nikki.
Yeah.
Like thinking of you
let's
off of
be
you're a
honest.
strong black woman. Okay, so I feel like you don't want people to see you as weak because you don't see
Right.
yourself as weak.
Or see that they got over on you. Here comes the pride. Here comes the pride, folks.
Okay, that is true. That is true. But also, it's just not wanting. Well, I guess you are right, Jaheim.
I got a lot of prideful people that I know. I deal with them not dealing.
I mean, I guess you are right. But at the same time, it's nothing wrong with being prideful in the same breath. It's nothing wrong because
But we confuse confidence and pride. God,
because they're very close. They're very close. They're very close. But I don't believe like on certain levels. I don't think there's to take pride in what you do, as you should. You should take pride in what you do.
But when you use it like that, that's taking pride in what you do.
What you do is being what if you're pride in what you do. I feel like that's the level of being prideful.
I think you should be confident in what you do.
I feel like you can take
You can
pride in
do
what you
both.
do, but
Yeah.
you don't. It's not going to be prideful.
Okay,
So you
we're
can take
getting
pride
away
in
from
what
the
you do. Yeah.
conversation. We're getting away from
Good
we're
Lord,
getting,
this
yeah,
a
we're going
tangent.
right. We're going right. We're going
No,
right.
but
Let's bring it back left.
Like and share and like and comment.
But like I was saying, like the struggle for me is like Jaheim said, sometimes it is the fact that I don't want people to feel like they got over on me. Because the level of uncomfortable, like that leaves me, y'all, so angry, so upset, like to feel like to know that somebody at least thinks that they got over on me.
But how does that lead to generational curses? You're prideful. How do you feel like the other person How does that lead to generational curses? Going back, tying back
L-
that into your
Like what do you mean?
we was talking about what causes generational
Right.
curses. We said Michaela said pride.
Well, I guess it goes back to me and the way that I was brought up and raised. Like I come from a very confident family, um, a very strong for like our family is just strong. And then I also know that nobody they don't play with my family. So therefore,
Mm.
like all of that stemmed to me because I saw how my mama was, I saw how my father was raised, like or is. So it just kind of I don't I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
Right? I
I
got
don't
lost there.
because you just asked me how does that come back from like generational. I don't have an answer for that because I just saw the strength that was carried throughout my family.
So you
So
saw pride
sometimes
as
you can
strength.
take a small trait, right? And it can negatively turn to something. So like even though you saw the strength, the confidence in my family, like how quick confident can turn into pride. Since we're talking about that, you said confidence can turn into pride. Because I was raised very confidently, it turned into pride. So now it's a do you not follow me?
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Do you
Um,
follow me though? That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
I'll follow you. Michaela is just taking me out with his head down right now.
Because I'm listening to her. I'm following her. That's why I'm nodding. And I was also nodding at cousin Kim when she said confidence is always with you. Pride you can let go of
It's
if
not
it's not
serving.
serving you.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So what do you think contributed to that lost generation? Was it social norms? Was it because they were dealing with social injustice from another?
Wait, Jaheim, we done went back a conversation or two. What?
No, you tied. I'm tying it in.
Oh gee.
Tying it into what though?
What were we talking about? You talk about
We was
generation
just
curse,
talking about you now we're
lost
going back to the
generation.
lost generation. I thought we left the generation lost.
But no, you can't leave a generation lost because you got people
You
like
just
cousin.
said that.
But that's what you just said.
No, I didn't.
Yes,
Oh
you
my
But
did,
goodness.
fool.
you got okay, but you got people like cousin Kim who are watching, who may encounter young people who may want to. You know what? Go ahead.
Well, we didn't say that the generation was lost. You did. You just said we
No,
just
you
gonna have to
said it
leave
was
them.
lost, Nicole.
Michaela,
So you didn't say it was
Michaela,
a lost
Michaela.
generation.
You said yes. That's what I said. But then I asked the question, the same question that you just asked, and you said, "Well, we just gonna have to leave them lost then."
Yes.
Oh,
Because I co-sign that.
oh,
Yo,
okay,
this is what I'm
okay.
talking about. Anyways, moving on to the next conversation. We're not trying to go back, and we're not trying to be on here long tonight at
We
all.
ain't going back.
But we talked about, the spiritual where you had to pray, and how the lost generation is going to have to stay lost. So now the question is, what are
So can we
go
pause
ahead,
it? We have some
go
stuff
ahead.
on TikTok
Okay.
is showing us more love than Facebook, but I'm gonna just leave that alone. Facebook, y'all step it up. Um, first of all, Riri was over here laughing at Jaheim crazy. So Gen
Who?
5,
Really?
Riri, she's a
Oh,
TikTok follower. Um, Gen 5 AK, he said my teacher getting Rizzy. That must be one of your students, Jaheim. And
Yeah.
then AJ. And
What's up?
then Donora said, I don't think they are lost. I feel like they are just misguided. Mm,
Mm.
mm.
And that's why I wanted to tie them back. So how do we when we're talking to our grandparents, when we talk, go ahead, Nicole. Go ahead, Nicole. I just give up.
he went by tie nothing, but Denora just saved you. That's all.
No, but that's so true though. Go ahead, Michaela.
Me.
Yeah, you reading off TikTok.
That's
What is
That's
it.
what
going
he
on
do when
That's
he
tonight?
it.
can't. That's what he do when he can't finish a
That's
thought.
it.
Oh, really quick? Yeah.
You checking into a hotel tonight?
Don't you go save your. It's okay. Let me shut up because I ain't doing nothing.
Anyways, y'all, come on, man. Let's get through this thing,
No,
man. I'm
you the one
hungry.
who playing.
Okay, so
God.
Rere said we can't make them change or do better unless they want to do better, and that's for anyone. That's true because
That's true.
if somebody is hard headed, bullheaded, you can't change their mind.
Honestly, I feel like the lost generation that we're talking about, their therapists is their pastors because I've seen it so many times where something that goes wrong or something happens where they automatically run to their pastor.
I wouldn't say just a pastor, as a
I
Reverend Clay.
mean, as a older generation that's like 60 and up, 99.3%, 99.3%.
That's
And
most of
not
our
just any,
parents,
but not just any pastor. They have to be a pastor over a certain age.
Mm.
Because I mean,
That's not true. I know some young pastors who fool up.
no.
Very.
I'm not talking about the
Oh,
pastor
you talking about the
seeking their
lost one?
correct. Thank you. Follow me.
Even I
It's
didn't
your
know.
trail ride
Michaela, you know where
dancing
she
it?
was going?
Hmm?
Huh?
Michaela, you know where she was going just now?
Yeah, I know where my sister going. Go ahead,
Thank
sister.
you.
Oh
Thank
Lord.
you.
Okay. You know what?
He
I'm gonna
be out
shut
there
up.
on the clouds. Stay off that
No,
stuff. What was we talking about?
I can't even do that. Uh, um. n- Okay, well, you gonna say you gonna ask a question, spirituality, and
Uh,
but I want to add this.
this
Okay,
is
go
a
ahead.
good one. Somebody just sent me something.
Who's this?
How do we check on our strong friends? And by strong friends, we mean those who pray and serve but are secretly struggling.
Mm.
So let me tell you something. I'm gonna use Jaheim as an example because he's the first one that comes to mind when I look at this question, when I think about this question, is because I know when Jaheim is secretly dealing with some things.
That's true.
You know, normally, I hear from him every day, twice a day, 3 times a day, if not phone calls, then text message, something, to just let me know that he's alive or something. Now there are times where I don't hear from Jaheim at all. Like no phone call, no nothing. It's just quiet. There's no TikTok,
Mm.
there's no Facebook post, there's no encouraging message.
God,
Then
Jesus.
I reach out to him. I give him like, if he doesn't respond right away, I give him like another day or two. But you have to, like, when you're dealing with people that are in a certain level of capacity, like if they're a minister, if they're a preacher, if they serve some type of office, I don't know. You start to learn their patterns.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because usually when you're dealing with somebody who's very structured, they have a very schedule and they stick to it.
Mm.
And I've learned this. So the moment where I see that their is like interrupted, I know that there's something wrong.
All right.
Ooh.
And you don't want, and because they serve in that capacity, you don't want them to go so long without no type of communication. Because what happens then, you allow them to sit in that like suffering, that depression hole.
Yes. Yes.
And depending on the individual that you're friends with and that you're connected with, sometimes it's okay to let them go through, but it's not.
Mm,
It's not. Because you have some people who will literally sit there
yeah.
and stay there. And you don't want that to happen. Any other thoughts?
We have something from TikTok. Ray Ray said, just check on the strong friend, maybe once a week or just something, even if it's a, hey, it's me. And then she
Mhm.
put arrows at herself saying the strong friend. It's
Uh-huh.
true.
And just letting the person know that you're there. It doesn't have to be a long, sappy message.
Exactly.
None of that. Just letting them know that you're there for them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
These crazy. For some, your strong friend, and I'm talking as one of strong friends, and we're all strong. I would say we're all strong friends.
Okay, go ahead.
We all are. All of us have our moments. That's why I think this friendship works. But as a strong friend, I think all of us, all of our jobs, we serve other capacities. Like I'm not just a reverend. I serve as a teacher at a school. Okay. Nicole, she's not only Girl Scout, she's now got a new job. She's now trying to create her portfolio for where God is trying to take her in life. Michaela, she not only is HR, what she's dealing with all types of stuff of HR, but she's also an entrepreneur. She's also got this, she's also got that. And so we kind of, like Nicole said, we kind of pick up on where they're where they're toned down, you know what I mean? And so for the strong friend, it is okay to be vulnerable. It is okay to allow, because sometimes we say, oh, we want somebody to check up on us, but then we get mad for checking up on us. So we'll be like, I, yeah, girl, I good. Yeah, I good. I good, homeboy. Yeah, I good. Yeah, I good. But in fact, you're not good. And so, and then sometimes I do that too. So like when I know when they're checking up on me, because they'll say, this one, Nicole will say, come out of that. Like she'll literally text me that, come out of that. And then Michaela will call and she'll start with a joke and then she say, how are you? And then, she'll get it out of me. So you have to be, as a strong friend, we can't say check up on us, but then when people check up on us, we get mad for them checking up on us.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And that kind of ties that. I like what you said, because I honestly do feel like all of us are the strong friend. But so, I mean, of course, all three of us are friends, but we have our own friend groups. So I feel like we're the strong
Yeah.
friends in those friend groups. And then when we come to each other, now it's just three strong friends. And like you said, it's hard to be the strong friend. And we always say, like, oh, check on your strong friends, check on your strong friend. And we don't want to be checked. I don't want to be checked up on. If you ask me, you all right? I'm gonna say yeah, even if I'm not. Because as a strong friend, you don't want to burden other
She's not
people with your
lying.
problems.
She's not lying.
You
She's
gotta
not lying.
you gotta run like through 5 brick walls to get it out of Michaela. And
Are
even then,
y'all on here telling my business?
she's still not gonna tell you. She gonna be, but I'm gonna make it through.
This ain't about me. Anyways,
See? Strong friend.
you gotta make me lose my train of thought. Shoot. My God. Let me see.
I'm about to look and see if we got
So Didi said on TikTok, she said isolation is needed sometimes as a strong friend. No, that's true.
What'd she say?
She said isolation is needed sometimes as a strong friend, meaning like strong friends don't want people to check on them. I agree though to a certain extent.
Isolation
I
can,
do too.
I agree
okay,
to a certain extent.
the right amount of isolation, because certain isolation can put your mind in a different type of tuzzy. You know what I mean? So you're right, yeah, certain isolation, but don't go months and no. Give me
And not check
give
on
me a
you.
solid week. The longest, give me a solid week.
Because everybody needs somebody. At the end of the day, Rary said, just like a cell phone, it needs to be charged in the middle. Well, that needs to be charged in the off or switch mode. And Denora said, not too long, but space never hurts. That's true.
That's right. Because sometimes and sometimes when dealing with stuff, it becomes a little bit too much when you're constantly hearing, just because you're constantly hearing other people's opinions and other people's perspectives. So if I'm trying to deal with this, then I don't know. I'm trying to say, but yeah.
No, that's
Because
true.
I would say, in getting back into this therapist stuff, and that's why therapy is so good. But also, not even just, we always focus on prayer, but sometimes, the Bible says some stuff comes from prayer as well as fasting. Some of us focus so much on prayer that we forget about the fasting part that may heal us in certain areas. Denying ourselves, killing our flesh can get you the answer. You know what I mean? And so it just is a both way. But at the end of the day, you got to do something. Okay. Because hurt people, what?
Hurt people.
Right. So if you know you ain't healed from the last relationship, you know you did that, it makes no sense to you to waste people time. If you know you got daddy issues, mama issues, you're never gonna, it's not saying you're never gonna be in a successful relationship, but you're never gonna feel whole, because you're gonna start projecting that on other people. If you had different type of childhood trauma, whether it be in the church, whether it be in the schoolhouse, whatever, it is okay to deal with that stuff before you bleed on other people. Because sometimes I think the reason why we can consider them lost or misguided is because they're pretty much bleed on their kids, and then their kids happen to be our parents. And so some of our parents took that pivot of, okay, not going to be me, not going to be my bloodline, not going to be this section of my bloodline. I can truly say my mama did that. My mama literally, she always says that, that her, she's going to be, like, her kid's going to be different. She's going to pivot. And she did. I really can say that. Not saying
Yeah.
nothing on my family because y'all watch this stuff. I don't know.
So we have some more. I'm telling y'all, TikTok is showing us love today.
Is
W
anybody
TikTok.
watching on Facebook? Because ain't nobody popping up on my
So, Denora said that, and those of us who need to hear from the Lord outside chatter be too much. Seriously. And then she also said, unhealed people hurt people. Hurt people know what it's like to be hurt and don't put hurt on others.
I'm gonna agree to disagree because I know some hurt people that hurt me. Now, not intentionally. I would say this: hurt people have more reserve, but in the end, they do a little bit of damage. Could we agree with that?
No, I agree.
Because
It depends on your
I would say that.
mindset, but I agree.
Let me say, I would say this: hurt people are more aware. Unhealed people are not aware and they don't care. I think hurt people care. Oh God, I thank you. Hurt people care, but I think unhealed people don't care at all. Because I've dealt with some hurt people. It's like anytime I'm in a relationship or talking to somebody, I always find them after hurt. God, Jesus. No, seriously, I don't know what it is. And then don't this make you mad when you do all your efforts to heal people, to be their therapist, to give them this, to show them healthiness, then they leave you in the end? God, Jesus. Sorry. That just
I was about to say something, but I ain't telling nobody business on here. I ain't doing that.
What did I miss? What are we talking about?
We're talking about hurt people and unhealed people. Denora said, preach. She said, preach. You talking right.
Yeah, I mean that's so true. Let me
Lord,
My
it's gonna
thing
get
is
it's gonna get personal for
that's what I'm about to
Jaheim.
say.
no, it's not
That's
gonna
what
get
I'm about to
personal.
say.
It just, and in the end, here it is. I know that shows me that I'm not fully healed because I attracted those people because you know why? Sometimes I want to, if I feel like the savior in their lives, I don't want to have to deal with the mess in my life. So if I can go find people to heal and go find people to help, that's so, and and when I realize that in life, sometimes that's why I'll stop like my motivational stuff because I'm like, okay, no, deal with this first, then you can get back because you don't want to be a hypocrite. Some of us are out here being hypocrites and we ain't healed. And so when you ever see me stop doing motivational stuff, stop doing stuff like that, is because there's something that I realized that wasn't healed about me that I need to go heal before I can pour out. So and even with preaching, like sometimes I'll even stop preaching because of that, because I'm not healed. Now, yes, I've gotten better. Now there was a time where I would just go preach unhealed and hurt and bleed on the people, but God
Okay.
save me from that.
TikTok is on one. Riri said, you said a bar. She said, ooh, a bar. Denora said, stay out my life too, because this combo was hitting. And then she put the running emoji. She about to take off.
No, it is so true because some of us are still hurt, are still unhealed. We can be honest with ourselves. There's some area in your life where
Everybody.
you replayed that text message, you replayed that bad
Hallelujah.
you replay
Ooh,
you replay that mistake,
everybody.
you replay that this and that is because instead of dealing with you wanted that temporary thing. You wanted that temporary satisfaction. I'm preaching here tonight, but you want that temporary this. And so what that does is that makes you go into things and go into spaces with people that you have no business being with. People you have no business connecting with. Because all in this, you want to run from you. Stop running from you. God, sorry. I felt my hope. Because many of us, I was running from me.
Yes.
Say that again.
I was running from me. I really was.
Mm.
And you know what I did I started blaming, I started blaming my daddy. I started blaming this. And I was like, no.
Accountability.
Oh God, Jesus.
And that's the third point. We said pride.
Yes.
We said what was this first one?
Avoidance.
Avoiding and accountability. Continue.
How many of us don't even have accountability? Discipline. Uh-oh. That's a bad word. That's a bad word in this day and age. Discipline.
Denora said, "You say you're not preaching, but you preaching. Log off."
No, no. Okay, okay. Simple thing. We all go to the gym. We all go to the gym. Now we can be honest. Have we been disciplined lately? No. I know I haven't. And how does being undisciplined make you feel? This is in the area of your life. If we're, when we're not posting, when we're not doing this, when we're not going, how does that make you feel? For me, that makes me feel unmotivated. That makes me feel
Mm,
dark, and that makes me when I'm not disciplined. That's when depression starts to sneak up into my life.
mm.
For me, I'll say for me.
I don't think I get depressed.
Mm.
I just feel like
Disappointed.
disappointed would be a better.
I'm gonna call it straight. I get depressed.
Mm.
So where does that depression come from? Why do
This
you get
come
depressed?
when I get depressed
Why do you get depressed?
because it's once again I feel like I'm failing me. I don't care what I really don't care about nobody else. I'm failing me. I know where I want my life to be at, where I want this to be at, and I feel like when I don't accomplish certain things or when I don't stay stay in the path, I feel like, come on, Jaheim. Because you know what it is? I'm afraid
Is
of
that
being stuck.
depression or is that just disappointment?
I would say a mixture of both. For me, I'm speaking truth to me.
I mean, I'm just
mixture of both.
asking. When you think of depression and then disappointment, I feel like that's more of a you're disappointed in yourself because you're not necessarily where you want to be versus you're depressed.
Mm,
Michaela, thoughts?
I feel like disappointment leads to depression.
Mm. And I feel like it also may depend on what the person has going, because some people deal with something called imposter syndrome. So what may
Mm,
be
yes,
disappointment to some people, that may turn into depression for somebody who deals with imposter syndrome. So
right.
Elaborate more on that imposter syndrome, Michaela.
so I actually know someone
Oh, no,
who battles with imposter syndrome. We're not going to call any names on here tonight, but basically with imposter syndrome, you basically feel like you're a fraud. Like you may be the number one person in the world, you may accomplish so many things, but you feel like a fraud. You feel like you don't deserve the spot that you've earned. You think you're an imposter, hence why it's called imposter syndrome. So somebody with imposter syndrome, they don't go to the gym continuously, they're not hitting that personal goal for themselves. It might be disappointment to normal people like us, but to them that disappointment might turn into depression.
I wouldn't use normal.
Oh, okay. That's
I
a
don't,
trigger word.
because you don't want people to think. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say normal. Just
Okay, people who don't deal with that.
yeah, yeah,
People
yeah.
who don't deal with that. Yeah. Denora said, but whose timeline is making you depressed because you because don't you control the narrative?
And I think my problem, now let me say my problem, where me and Jaheim, we just go our separate ways is because he uses that depression word so loosely.
Mm, okay.
Mm,
Because everything that he goes through, it always leads to him being depressed. And for me, of course, you can't necessarily put a timeline on depression. Because again, it is real. Depression is real. But Jaheim right now in his life, he's just disappointed because he's
Mm,
not where he is in life.
mm,
yeah.
And from that
Okay.
disappointed, it comes like a little peak of sadness, but not depression. Because I've seen Jaheim's depression,
Oh yeah.
not
You're right.
personally, but
Right. You're right.
long time ago, that was depression.
mm.
Versus where he is now, that's nowhere near in the same categories. And I really, really can't. I just can't wait to the podcast where Jaheim actually talks about this because I really want him to talk about it so much, but he never does. But when he
Mm.
does, I'm telling y'all gonna have to be in it for this podcast. Go ahead, Jaheim.
And I think that's where you're right. But I think for me, I'm scared. In the back of my mind, I'm scared to go back to that place.
And that's the next thing that I want to say, and it just popped up in my head like a couple of minutes ago, but I forgot to say it. Sometimes when we've dealt with certain issue,
Yes.
it'll leaves us sensitive to it.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. See, why
And
she preaching?
Mm.
Cause I'm here. I'm getting that download. Like it'll leave you very sensitive to it.
I'm
What?
I'm laughing at Michaela because she looking at us in the background.
Sorry.
See,
So, no.
and this is why my connection always get foggy because y'all be doing
Sorry.
too much. But no, seriously though, because I know that he's dealt with that on a different level. It
Yeah.
leaves him sensitive,
Mm.
and sometimes because of the sensitivity of it, we don't want to place ourselves into that situation again. Not even place ourselves in the situation again, but anything can trigger us to make it believe that that's what it is when it's not.
Mhm.
Because it
That's
looks the same. It may
yeah.
look the same.
Yes,
All
that's what I
mine
was
do.
gonna say. It's kinda like,
Okay.
you get COVID one time, you get COVID. Now every time you sneeze, you call, "Oh my god, I got COVID." It's like because 'cause you're exposed to that, you're sensitive to that. So now
Mhm.
just because you experience a bit of sadness, now you're classifying it as
And
depression.
can we take it a step further? When we
Go ahead.
talk about sicknesses and ailments, they all share the same symptoms.
What?
Wait a second. Denora said, "And Nikki on here preaching and she won't claim it. I guess speak her will work for now."
Thank you, Denora.
Preach her.
Thank you.
Preach her.
No, speak.
Is anybody
Anyways,
watching on Facebook?
I done zone, I done, I done zone out from Facebook. Like I don't
Cousin
even
Kim
know.
was on
I'm
Facebook. I
looking
don't
at
pin her
like,
comments. We got 5 on Facebook. We got
oh, okay, because I'm looking and I'm like, I can't see nothing right now. I'm just like,
Oh,
6
yeah,
on
yeah.
TikTok.
I was ready to get mad. But for somebody, you said ailment. Go ahead. We just saying they all come from the same thing. Go ahead. That was good revelation.
Yeah, when you like how when we get sick and we go to Google and we Google symptoms for
Mm,
Oh
so and
yeah.
so and so,
Yeah, you
you
think you're a
got
doctor.
can't you're dying, right?
shoot.
And that's what I'm saying. Like when we have these warnings and symptoms in our life, and we think that there's legit like there's something wrong when that's not the issue. That's what I was just going, Jaheim. But you can take it.
And I would agree. But for somebody, like you said, for somebody who's dealt with it, for somebody who's been in that y'all, like, when I tell my testimony, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be grinded.
Mm,
I
But for
held
somebody,
my breath when
you're
you took my hand and it
you're
came up
always cautious of
shining.
it because you build up these different like therapists. Going back to what I'm talking about, my therapist has allowed me to build up these different walls. I feel like different walls to block it, and so when certain areas in this is how I feel. When certain areas in my life is not going whatever, I feel like one wall has went down,
Mhm.
and so it is allowing that depression spirit to move a little bit closer. And so what I be trying to tell myself is okay, can I do to build Michaela is taking
sorry.
Michaela,
If
what
she
you
mute
want?
that mic and I hear that button press one more
Sorry.
time,
No,
Sorry.
but when I'm dealing with something,
okay.
I have to build up that wall. You know what I mean? Like the gym, going to the gym is building up that wall for me. Doing certain stuff is building up a wall because I know once I get into that state again, especially now that I don't live by nobody, you know what I mean? I'm scared for that. So I that's what I'm like, I'm telling myself, okay, Jaheim, let's go. Let's go. Let's get out. When you tell me get out of that, you're telling me, okay, Jaheim, get back to building up those walls again. And I thank you for that.
So when do you know? Well, no, I'm gonna save this question.
All right, go ahead. I kind of figure I was going to kind of figure out what you're going to say. I had an answer for that too. Go ahead, Nicole. Michaela. Hey, TikTok. Who we got on
Dead.
Facebook? 'Cause it literally
I
says
can't
5.
see
It
it.
literally says 0 on my thing.
Facebook say 5 on
It don't
here.
matter. We getting ready to get up off this because I just got my
Hello.
battery dying alert. But this was good conversation tonight,
This was good.
Go ahead.
and we
What was your
definitely.
question?
Hmm?
Michaela didn't have a question.
I didn't
No,
have a
Cole,
question.
you had a question. You said I'm gonna
No, I'm
save
gonna
it.
save that for part 2 because my computer is about to die.
Part 2. We
Oh,
set up
no.
our last part 2 when you did no part 2. But
Riri
I
said
We
will
can
this
do
say
was
this.
so good. She said so good.
yes. So yeah,
Thank
we can
y'all
go
for
ahead and
joining.
wrap. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Um, this was really good conversation tonight,
It
and it
was.
is our prayer that if you're watching, if you're listening, that if you need, and that not even if you need it, but sometimes.
No, seriously. What?
Huh?
You died.
Oh.
All right. Now, when you're dealing with something,
Mm,
and when you're dealing with it, it is okay to pray for guidance
mm,
and pray that the Lord gives you and give point you in the right direction, and then from that the right direction, man, whether it be therapist, maybe it be this or that. When the Lord points you in that right direction, I hope that you trust His word and trust His guidance, and know that
Yes.
you're bigger than what you're facing. Know that you're
mm,
stronger than what was battling you. Know that that something greater is on the way for you. I'm telling you, for somebody who was in the lowest of the lows, didn't think that there was nothing greater or anything left for me, and to see me in different spaces and in different places, I thank God that there was somebody on the College of Charleston. There was somebody in my family. There was somebody in my quiet other ones. So yeah, there was somebody. Hey, God, I love you. There was somebody that saw the light, even though it may have been dim, that saw the light and continued to pull that light out of me. So I thank those
mm.
people. And somebody could do
Mhm.
that.
Good for
Yep.
me.
Yep.
My takeaway is you can have Jesus in your heart and you can have a therapist in your corner, because when you're on the road and on the journey to healing,
God,
you
Jesus.
can you don't have to pick sides. It's okay to have both.
Yep.
God, I just feel a wind of revival just hit this
Feel
place.
it.
Can y'all hear
God.
me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Denora said Reverend Nikki, she put the eyes.
God, Jesus. I just felt a
But
wind of
no, but
revival.
but but no, this is seriously a good
No, for
conversation.
real.
One thing, who just said, y'all know I mess songs up all the time, so I don't even know if this is right or not.
Yeah,
But
just say words.
whatever song it is, a piece of the song goes, even though I was in the fire, when I came out, I didn't smell like smoke.
Oh,
That's a song.
yeah.
Who
I
was
didn't
that?
know.
Was it
Sing that.
Jacqueline? Was it Jacqueline Carr? I don't know.
Um,
Evan used to dance to it too. So there's that. Um, I think that's how I got the song, honestly. But that's an important piece because even though you're dealing with what you're dealing with right now,
Jesus.
it's okay to go through that isolation stage because sometimes we really have to we have to digest what's really going on, and I'm like that.
Yeah.
Okay, but the problem comes is when you start to stay there, you start to lie there.
Mm,
Okay, that's where the issue comes. And so when if you're ever at that place, if you're ever feeling like you're by yourself, you're not. Go seek, go get the help that you need. Go talk to somebody. I mean, I don't have a therapist personally, not gonna lie, I don't. But I said that I'm gonna go look into it because even though I feel like there's not, and it's not you having a therapist, you don't have to have. There's nothing wrong with you just to have somebody to talk to.
mm,
right, right, right.
That's all it is, a conversation.
It really
And
is.
you never know what may happen in your life, what may change when you have this conversation with somebody. So that's my little takeaway. Y'all, this has been really, really good.
it was.
Um, we're gonna do a part two. I don't know when that part two is gonna be. I'm not gonna make no promises. No, we just gonna have one, and we're gonna have to try to get Carrington or someone on here. Um,
Yeah.
Mhm.
y'all got anything to say before I start doing church announcements?
Um.
Why does it not work?
We
God.
have a special at a presentation coming from Ashton Wilson.
Oh yes,
Um,
yes,
we're
yes.
gonna do that. We're gonna show that. So make sure you go support whatever it is Michaela's about to play and put on the screen, or I don't know, say I don't know. Be on the lookout for our next episode. This will be episode 6 of Straight Out the Group Chat podcast. If you haven't already, like our Straight Out the Group Chat Facebook page, show some love. We're on the road to 100 followers, and hopefully we can reach that by the end of this week so that way we can start going live off our Straight Out the Group Chat podcast page. If you're a faithful viewer and you've been listening and engaging with us, stay tuned for next week episode or this week's episode because you may just be the viewer spotlight of the week. If you have not already, head over to TikTok and Instagram Show us some love over there too. As always, we appreciate you guys' support. Make sure you follow Michaela's business, Creativity by Kayla, and head over to Jaheen's podcast, the Legacy Builders podcast. And I don't have anything, but y'all just follow me on social media. I'm on all social media platforms. It is our prayer that something was said tonight that has helped you, in has helped you in any way, shape, or form. Michaela, do you have that thing up?
Yeah, so we're gonna post the forms this week. So we have 2 forms coming out this week. One is gonna be for co-hosts. If you want to co-host with us, if you love our vibe and you want to join the team for an episode, join us on screen. Be our co-host. We're gonna have a co-host form for anyone who wants to be a co-host, and then we're also going to have a business spotlight form because we love supporting small businesses. So you can submit your business information, and we will showcase you on here as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, after the the
Yes.
advertisement is played, Heem is gonna close us out at his song of the night of his choice. And we will see y'all on season 1, episode 6 of Straight Out the Group Chat podcast.
Right. Let's see.
Interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
We need another fundraiser idea. Like a bake sale. No. Spaghetti dinners? How about a hot dog sale? Mm-mm. We need something bigger. Something better. You know what? Let me just call the group chat. Hello?
You.
Guys, we gotta find something fresh and exciting for a new fundraiser.
How about a big sale?
Bro, I'm ain't tired of that, bro. I know the old people love their sweets, but come on, man.
Word, we gotta find something different.
Let's just think about it real quick.
You guys,
Yeah.
I got it. What if we combine food and fun? Like a car wash and a sandwich sale.
A car wash and?
Yeah, bro, it's called it Shine and Dine. Like, we wash the cars and serve the dinners.
What type of sandwiches though?
What about chicken and fish sandwiches?
Yeah!
Well, it looks to me we have a good idea to talk about, so we can definitely mention this in the meeting.
Bet.
Word?
I'm gonna call y'all boy later. though.
Alright, see y'all later.
Bye. Let me see what's on TV.
What's up, everyone? My name is Derek Wilson, and I'm the president of the Sons of Allen here at Greater St. James Amen Church. And we are teaming up with our YPD to do a chicken fish sandwich sale and a car wash. And we would like for you to please come out and support our youth and the Sons of Allen. Thank you, and God bless.
The car wash is $20.
And the sandwiches are 10.
So come on out and get your car washed, eat, and have some fun. You don't want to miss out.
Man, you know that car good. Just come on, we got you.
Can I just say that just gave me so much faith?
Can I say this?
That just gave me so much faith.
Can I?
Ah, Jesus.
Like this is
That just get I feel like prophesying, but I'm gonna shut up because that just gave me so much faith.
Can we talk about
Ashton.
first of all,
Why he's not on the team?
Ashton, Kayla, because it's people like Kayla that. Okay, anyways,
What they call
Ash-
gatekeeping?
gatekeeping, correct. But let's
I don't
talk
know his
about.
schedule.
I
I'm
say,
not
I say this all the time. I say this all the time.
They're a mega church in the way.
Kudos to uh Reverend Fair
Yes.
and
Not a mega
the
church
work
in the making.
the work that Greater St. James does. I
You know
mean,
that, right? Y'all are a mega church in the waiting.
yes, y'all are. Y'all, I mean, from services to the work that y'all doing, like I'm in awe.
Me too. Y'all are a
Me and
mega
Jah-
church in the waiting.
me and Jaheem are honorary members there because listen,
Should be.
no, it's honestly no, it's really me. You just got here yesterday. I've been here.
Mm.
I actually working at the Dream Center. Okay.
Okay, that's ugh. But first of all, Ashton, if you're watching or if you're watching the
He's
replay,
not. Yeah.
first of all, I have to say kudos to you. Your gifts, the talent, the things that you bring are unmatched and undefeated. All right. So
I need to do something for me.
yeah, let's just go there. And then to all the YPDers at Greater St. James, like I tell them this all the time when I'm there, like the energy and the excitement that they bring in YPD, like when all of us were coming up, like we're in a different generation now. Let me just say that. And y'all look good. It looks good on y'all. So I'm super excited to see what y'all do. I'm super excited to see what y'all do because that was impressive. Like I'm just, and to your dad, Michaela.
He's showing out with the Sons of Allen. Holly. Yeah, you heard him say that.
He a president and he a classy then.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he's a class leader yet, but they're working on it.
I'm gonna text you what I really want to say when we get off this.
All right. Anybody have anything else?
Nope, I'm good to go.
All right.
I just want to encourage people who are wanting to follow their dreams. Do it. Do it now. I read a post this and I'm gonna leave it. Don't live to tomorrow like today. You do not want to live the same day twice. I encourage you to go after it.
Yes.
And do it.
Every round goes higher and higher and higher.
For real. And it gets
And
better.
like the kids at the Dream Center every day. Dare to dream. Dare to
dream.
You see that?
Yeah, they'll tell you I say that.
Yeah, go ahead, because I'm trying to.
Ooh,
bless you.
Anyways, all right,
How you got?
let's go and close out and
watch
song,
that.
man, so we can go home.
Okay.
Oh, I don't even got a song. I just want to say, Jesus love you. Did I
Michaela, run
know
the song.
all the Bible?
Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Faith, love, career, life's a whole mood. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Late night combos, turn to viral debates. Keep it 100, no cap, no fakes. Laughs, real talk, good vibes, no stress. You rockin' with the best. Welcome to the set. Straight up the group chat, yeah, we keep it real. Talking all the things that you think but don't reveal. Faith, love, career, life's a whole mood. Nothing off limits, we gon' speak the truth. Tap in, turn up, let's get it started.
Y'all hungry.
You're hungry.
Yes,
Want another rib?
Straight out the group chat coming through your speakers. Y'all ready?
What? You want another rib?
Yeah, wait. You got the real? It's like that beat drop. Let's get it started. I never lied to
I think on season 2 we're gonna change the intro song. Let's go.
Don't change the intro
It was
song.
hard to get this one extra.
Right, yeah.
Didn't we have
Yeah.
another one?
Oh yeah, but I want to.
Yeah, I say change the video, but don't change the song. What's up, though?
Well, we could have had a new intro video.
No. Do it so when we start getting on the couch. I can't wait to go all the way get on the couch.
Get off
And we
the
just
couch.
record all the episodes.
Yeah, Michaela's gonna be on normal couch.
All right, y'all have a good night.